A magazine publisher has a fixed amount of monthly production costs. If each month he sells 600 copies of the magazine, his monthly profit is $4,800. And if he sells 450 copies, his monthly profit is $2,550. What are the publisher's monthly production costs? So this problem, they told us what the profit is, and it's wanting us to find the cost. So you have to know the profit equation. Profit is sales minus cost. Well, okay, what's missing here? We don't know, even though we know 600 copies of the magazine gave us a profit of $4,800, we don't know how much they charged for each copy of that magazine, right? So we're also going to have to figure that out. So we're going to let X equal the price of the magazines, and we'll let Y equal that fixed cost. Okay. Because it costs just as much to make 600 copies as it does to make 450 copies, evidently, in this problem. So, all right, we just have to translate this into two separate equations. So let's do that. All right. So we're going to have the profit of the first one, 4,800 equals the sales, which would be 600 copies of that magazine, times how many copies they sold, X, minus the cost, which is Y. All right, that's the first one. And for the other one, we'll have 2,550 equals 450 X minus Y. Okay, what would be, let's just go ahead, and this is a system of equations. Now for this one, we're going to use subtraction or addition method. And to do that, the easiest way, it appears, is to cancel out one of these y's, or well, to cancel out both the y's. So how do we turn this y into a positive so they'll cancel? Well, we multiply the entire bottom equation by -1. So that makes it negative 2,550 equals negative 450 X plus Y. You switch the signs of all of them. Okay, now let's just add this equation and this one. So 4,800 minus 2,550 is going to give us 2,250 equals 600 minus 450 would give us 150, right? 150x. And then the reason we did all this is the y's cancel out. So we just solve this. Divide both sides by 150. So X, which remember represents the price of each magazine, X equals $15. But it wasn't asking for how much each magazine was, right? It wanted to know what was that fixed cost. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take that 15 and just plug it into either one of these two equations. I could have just kept one of those up there, but that's okay. So let's pick that second one, the one with 2550. Just because the numbers are smaller. Equals 450 times 15. So that's 450 copies of the magazine. $15 a piece minus the cost gave us a profit of $2,550. So, okay, let's just simplify. 2550 equals 450 times 15 gives us 6,750 minus y. Subtract 6,750 both sides, and we get negative 4,200 equals negative y. And we could just multiply both sides by negative 1 here. And to switch the negatives to positives, so $4,200 is the fixed cost to make those magazines. And there it is. This one was a little bit more involved. In the figure above, the sides of square ABCD are intersected by the sides of a second square, such that the intersection points divide the sides of square ABCD into equal thirds. What is the ratio of the shaded area to the area of square ABCD? Alright, so I've taken the liberty of crudely drawing this square here, A, B, C, D, and the second square that divides it into thirds. And I went ahead, on my picture, I used dotted lines to kind of divide it into thirds here. And as you see, makes 9 separate squares, okay? Let's use that. 9 total squares, all right? So there's 9 total squares. And looking at that, I think it's easier to count how many are unshaded. Now, ultimately, they're going to want the area of the square that is shaded, but first let's just get the one that's unshaded. Well, there's half here, half here, half here, half here. So that's 2 unshaded. Okay, so if the ratio is 2 unshaded to the total, then that means the ratio of the shaded area of this is going to be what? 7/9. And there you go. That's it. 2 squares were unshaded, and 7 squares worth were shaded. And that's it. That's your answer. And you can also write it like that. And that's it. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a dividend. don't forget to hit that subscribe button.